That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Action.
Hey, y'all.
What do you say, folks? Hope everybody having a fine Sunday evening.
Happy Father's Day.
Yep. All you pappies out there. Hope y'all had a fine one. Mm-hmm. Hopefully y'all was able to relax, do whatever you want to do. Fish, stay home, take the family for a walk in the woods, whatever the case may be. Hope y'all had a good day.
Yeah. Everybody.
There's no puppies being harmed in the filming of this show. I promise you. That's y'all's peaceful protesters. Y'all hear them in the background.
Everywhere.
They're getting bigger, so their voices are getting bigger too. But let me holler at a few of y'all right quick while we're getting in here. I don't know how many folks will be joining, considering it is Father's Day here. So we'll just take it, run with it, y'all. See where she goes. Nothing else. I got a little bit on some feeding of the bees from the old bee journal from old Dr. Doolittle. Like literally, that's the guy's name, Doolittle. But
Sarah's listening from her honey house porch, she said.
honey house.
Yeah.
Well,
You go, girl. That's awesome.
hopefully, y'all spinning them out, gallons upon gallons. Indeed. Grayson got first. Look at old to Denise.
Queen Danae.
She says we're number 2. Pencil, Kentucky, good to see you. Mr. Keith's filming up there in that fine country. Mike Tangway, good to see you there, bro. Miss Deb, Son Bunny. Who else? Mr. Rodney Middleton, good to see you, bro. Okay. Miss Sarah's Happy Hives there. Woo, pardon me. Mr. Mike Conley, good to see you. We had a good conversation the other morning, headed down to the Gulf of America. We'll be working back down that way for the next couple of weeks again. Richard, good to see you. Hallelujah, Bee Farm, Pastor Larry, Miss Jan, Miss Leon, good to see y'all. Okay. Push too many buttons here. Who else am I missing? Oh, DC there. About Miss DC. Mr. Dan Weaver, too. Good to see you.
Okay.
Mr. Russell Amon. Yeah, it's our show, Jasper. Mr. Russell, I don't know if you can see it on the camera real good or not, but right, it's behind her head. You have to duck a little bit, turn this way.
Okay.
Well, there it is. We got Mr. Russell Amon's hive tool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He sent us home
so
with.
much room in this chair.
So, yeah. Jasper showing up for the show tonight.
Yeah.
Mr. Russell Cooten, good to see y'all. There's one other thing. We'll see if they notice about him being back.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody made a comment about somebody was missing. Well, he's back. So we'll see.
The comments in here early tonight.
We'll see if he sees him there or picks up on him. But James, good to see you, brother. Everybody kind of moseying on in.
Yeah, DC. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me see. I get well wrong, but
even when y'all can't see him, he ain't never very far. Dang, DC's on it tonight.
let's see where we at already.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. He got it.
He got it.
We was trying to figure out. We knew somebody had said something, but couldn't
I
remember
think it
who
was
said.
Rodney.
Was it Rodney?
I think it was. I could be wrong, but I think it was.
Either way, good idea, DC. Yes, sir. Mr. Clay, good to see you.
You can tell DC used to be in construction with his attention to detail.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't take him but a second.
Have those tendencies, especially whenever you go somewhere and it's like open work. And you're looking around and going, how these people even get paid for this?
Yeah.
But without jumping off of that, we've had a pretty slow week at the gun line.
A wet week.
It has rained and rained and rained.
Yes.
We- Literally Monday and Tuesday, we was looking at the weather for trying to figure out for work. What it said at the Gulf of America, no rain. All right, we're 2 hours away from the Gulf of America. We drive all the way down there, and about 3 miles before we get to where we're supposed to get, it just
The bottom falls out.
yes. So
Yeah. And then Wednesday, we got in about 45 minutes worth of work for the bottom fell out.
Yep.
Almost got the scaffolding set.
and drove all the way home.
Mhm.
And 30 minutes later, it started raining on us all night long up here on this part of the county. But ain't much happening. The bees, they just kind of trying to get out, meander, and do a little bit, I guess. Find something to snack on.
The flakes in the rain, boy, they flying their little tails off down there.
I think we in a little dirtish, if you will. Because them boxes we have from Lance's, I went out there and I sprayed them down with a water hose, cleaned them up real good, knocked out a whole bunch of that old pollen and this and that was in them old frames and stuff. And when we come home the other evening, buddy, they was hitting them boxes just like wet supers out there. But wasn't too much in them, except for that old pollen, I guess, laid out there. But we'll see.
DC, we're right at 100 miles from the Gulf. It only takes 2 hours because of the summer traffic this time of year. Everybody and their mama goes to the Gulf in the summertime.
Everybody's down there
It's
right now.
ridiculous the amount of traffic this time of year, but that's what it takes so long. We're really not that far from the coast.
Yeah, just figure about 2 hours. Pretty well the average time for us to get down there. But y'all come visit our beaches. They're beautiful. We want y'all to come down here and see them. They're beautiful, beautiful beaches, but we see them all the time. Or we can see them all the time. And it's like,
don't look for us down there this time of year.
No, you'll catch us down there in the fall or something walking around.
Mm-hmm.
But by all means, come visit the beaches. All right, it takes him about an hour and a half or so to drive down to the Pacific.
Yeah, so he said, sounds like we're about as far from the Gulf as he is the Pacific. Mr. Russell's rubbing it in.
Poor old Lee.
I know.
Headed back. Thinking about him, I got some stuff, and I meant to show this the other week, but Lee, I'll show the pictures, and if you don't mind, or you can come in and talk about it if you want to a second. It's totally up to you, or you can just stay in the chat. But Lee sent us some pictures the other week whenever he went on his climbing trip.
Mm-hmm.
And
really nice pictures.
You're on my phone, ain't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Go in Lee's text message where Lee text me and copy that link and put it in the chat for me. But on his climbing trip, then he sent us a link, which some of y'all may be subscribed to his other channel there, but if not, we're gonna put the link in. And him going out climbing on them rocks, what have you. But y'all talk about some beautiful places. What was it? Illinois, What was that one? Missouri? I think
I can't think of
it happened. But I'll show y'all this one first since the peaceful protesters out there. But
put it in the
let me get this out of here. Yeah. There's old Lee with one of them cute little puppies. Y'all name that puppy.
yeah. Y'all believe that was 2 years ago? He said it popped up in his memory.
Yep, him and old Jasper. But this is one of them places, I guess, one of them walls he was shimmying up and down or going around. Then one of the waterfalls. This was the prettiest one to me here, but I can't remember if this one was Illinois or Missouri on this one here. But okay, he's saying Missouri, and I had good job. Then
You got
another one there, and the second waterfall. I thought this place was real pretty too. That'd be nice just to sit and camp right there and carry on. But yeah, Mr. Dan Weaver, that picture right there is for you, my friend, and all my other brothers and sisters out there. But yeah, he was out in some fine country. If y'all interested, y'all go hit the link there. It'll get you to the channel and all that.
DC said, I watched you not fall. You're doing better.
Yeah, because last year he had an incident. That's
Was
right.
it like 6 feet or something?
I think so. Somebody wouldn't belay him. That's all I know. And down he went.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the word. I don't know.
I feel like that's something you just made up.
But
I really do.
yeah, our girls are doing good. Went down this morning. Restocked everybody in peppermint again. They loaded up nice and fine. I seen 7 beetles in 6 colonies.
Like combined.
Combined. Yes, that's everybody. So they doing good. If we can only get on to a flow, which I think that's pretty well, we can kick that can down the road this year.
Pretty much.
But there's a little piece I'm gonna read to y'all. It got me to thinking on which the other day I was thinking about this. We need to get us another 5-gallon bucket and build an open feeder.
Yeah.
Since the sun had dry rotted the last one, but
only we use it.
Yeah, it worked good. I like it. Stick it off to one side, let everybody feed and do their own thing. I don't care who comes over and feeds off of it. We've never had any problems or issues with trespassers. Everybody goes to that instead of wanting to rob and all this and that. But without getting off on that rabbit. Old Doolittle, he was part of that Day Dance bunch. C.C. Miller. Who's the other one I'm missing here? Demery and all them. But he was talking about feeding his bees and the best thing he come up with to feed his bees. So got me kind of pretty interested on, okay, I may actually try this. But we'll get there in a little bit.
Kimberly, I don't know why. Unless YouTube thinks one word you put in is like a trigger word or something. So, I mean, it's not like you're timed out because it'll let you comment.
No, the only words we have.
She said she tried to write something, but it won't go through. And she was wondering how. But it's letting her comment that and saying hey to other people. But I don't know what it has a red line by it. Girl, I have no idea. I've never heard of something like that.
I don't know. The only words I got programmed to not show is foul language and inappropriate comments. Y'all get my drift. But other than that,
I seriously doubt Kimberly's trying to write
I
something.
mean, I know that. I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's any words that what I had put in to not show isn't anything in the regular conversation, I guess.
I have no idea. Okay, so what's the deal with feeding? DC said people have been giving Bob Denny a hard time about feeding.
Oh, I don't know.
I figured you weren't trying to swear, Kimberly.
Yes, ma'am.
I have no idea why it would be not letting your comment go through.
Try another word like how I use lead dispenser for the firearm. Try a word around it. See if that'll go.
That's the only thing I can think of.
We're cool with it. Go
I
ahead.
feed my bees prime rib and they love it.
What's say, Philip? Good to see you, Captain.
I don't think it'll just not let you post. It's like it'll quit letting you enter characters in there.
What she said.
She asked if it could be too long of a comment.
No, I think it gives you like 100 and something characters to put in there. Something like that.
I don't know.
Or letters, whatever. I don't know.
I'm the wrong one to ask technology questions.
Okay, that may be what it is then. It's because it will put red at the end if there ain't no more room to write anything else. It will do that.
Folks are telling Bob Benny that feeding sugar made bees lazy and unhealthy.
Well, it does the same thing to people, so woo-hoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get off the soapbox. I mean, golly.
Anyway. Move on.
I mean, good grief, people.
Yeah.
Don't feed your bees sugar water so they won't be sitting around lazy and not doing bee stuff. You know?
You want to do the prayer list?
Let's do the prayer list.
Lose your religion sitting over.
I mean, we're going to get back on this, people. Don't y'all worry, because that's kind of what we're going to talk about what Mr. Doolittle does and see how people think about what he did. Then go ahead. If there's anybody we need to add to or take away from,
Please
let us know. Your turn.
Yeah. All right, we got Mr. Mark and his wife, Ed and his family, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb, Mike Tangway and his family, DC's parents, baby Lucas family, Rachel Wilson, her sister Amanda, and their niece Riley, Philip's mama, and since we were talking about making a praise list, he put in Joey's chat last night that his mama had a really good day yesterday.
Good deal, bro. That's what I want to hear. I apologize, y'all. I have been asleep at 5:30 every evening whenever we get home and wake back up at
More like 4:30. About 20 minutes after we get in the door, he's out. He's gone. All right. Let's see. Philip's friends BJ and his wife, Bobby's bees and their family, the Gandy family, Hillbilly Earl, Miss Leona, Steve Amos's father-in-law, PJ Hanley and his family, Catherine's son, Sarah and her family, Mr. Randy's mother-in-law, Miss Janae Wood, Kenneth and Chris Wilkinson, Terry Bertaland, Redfish's wife, Miss Janet, Kenneth Allen, Miss Dolores, Pepper Rookie, Denny Ray, Miss Brenda Larimore, James Creel, Steve-O, Rodney Middleton, Kathy Baker's friend, Miss Williams, Mary Beth Hobbs, Stephanie Riley, Dan Garrison's daughter, Brother Sammy and Miss Jolene, Clay Bonner's daughter, Keith Larimore's cousin, Mr. Russell Amon's wife, Miss Brenda, Clay Bonner's friend that had the bypass surgery, Mr. Mike Berry, Lee's mama, Brad Hogg's neighbors, Miss Brenda Johnson, Tom Mack's family, Miss Connie, Barnhill B. Barnes' wife, Mr. Dan's sister-in-law, Paula, and Philip's brother, Wayne. Unless we have more.
No, nobody has said anything. Had several pop in. Darren, good to see you. Carl and his two big brat.
I told Haley, hey, in the chat, let's pray for more energetic bees. Yeah.
Matt, Brian, and Jen, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, y'all. And happy Father's Day, Brian.
And he got 3 naps.
Oh, buddy, you had an awesome day, didn't you?
Hey, hopefully she hooked him up and they went to the ice cream place.
Yeah.
And he got his favorite ice cream today.
Uh-huh. Philip said, I get that question about feeding sugar water all the time, mostly from folks who are Book of Faces smart.
Well, let me go back. I was looking at some of y'all's comments while she was reading a prayer list, and I about got myself in trouble. Like me and Lance looking at one of these comments or a couple of these comments. I had to bite my lip a minute.
A bee disasters came in.
But going back, all right, everybody's fussing about Bob Bennett. We haven't seen the video, but we can only imagine. Just, y'all know how it is. People fussy for whatever reason. But, okay. But apparently,
some people just like it.
Mr. Bob Benny is feeding his bees sugar and it's turning them into fat, lazy bees. And
I don't want those adjectives.
There's some people that may be in agreement of that in here as well.
I'm sure they're
okay.
Right.
But anyway, yes, let's have more energetic bees. Let's get them the correct sugars that they need, the fructose sugars, so they're not just chilling on the outside out there, doing what bees aren't supposed to do. But let me hold on. It's just people. You know what I mean? I just can't. Come on.
People in here?
No, I'm just people talking about the all people to try to correct is Mr. Bob Benny. And I'm not meaning that in any kind of way. Everybody can stand, has room for improvement, no matter. All right,
y'all started this.
Let me back up because this was going to be one of the deals too. We got a message on the Book of Faces, a friend request, and it was like a big time beekeeping Facebook page. I'll just leave it at that. With 10,000 people on there, this so on and so forth. Well, they invited us. I didn't come to you. You know what I'm saying? They invited us. Well, as we're going to the Gulf of America the other morning, Hannah starts reading off to me, oh, they this and that, and so many people in here, and da 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 da. Well, when it got to the part of which, to a point, I agree, but whenever it said the sideliner and the mom and pop beekeeper or hobbyist, whatever you want to call it, if you're keeping bees and you're doing it right, you're a beekeeper. But anyway, it said these people were the low end of the totem pole. I added the totem pole part, but the actual words were these people are low end people. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you, you snotty nosed little brat?
That ain't nothing close to what he said.
To put yourself above somebody was my point. I get people have more knowledge and wisdom and things, and yes, I will open my ears to listen whenever somebody's speaking on that. But you're going to sit there and tell me I'm beneath you because of this or that? I don't think so, Bubba. We stand on equal ground where I come from, and I ain't about to kiss your Facebook tail or whoever your name is just because that's who you are.
This has been about this is day 4 on this rant, this particular one.
Well, that doesn't fire me up. Now here we come, everybody fussing. Apparently,
PJ's ready to box. Mr. Dan said, wave that Gadsden.
Me too. Yes, sir. Here we go. But that just fired me up. I'm not one of those people.
Can't you tell?
Of, I mean, we're
Oh, Brian's got it.
what?
Read the comments. Since you got the big screen in your lap to read comments.
You know who does that, Tim? Low level people.
Not you.
No. But I just thought, you know, shame on y'all. I could care less about how many people's in your stupid group and getting part of all that junk. You can have that. I'm done with that rant. Now on to the Bob Benny thing. Okay. I doubt very seriously Mr. Bob Benny's going to do anything to disrupt his yard or put his yard in a bind. If the man is doing something, just me, I would kind of tune in and take note and say, okay, maybe why is he doing this? Or why does he now have a different opinion on something? Whatever it is, let's tune in and see what the man has to say.
Joey, you missed.
Yes, sir. I've been on one. We're going on another one now. Get out with you, Joey. It's time. No.
Mr. Roy.
Walmart just got some relief.
You've got it.
Yeah. Well, I got on them too the other day, Mr. Roy. Went in there.
Pencil Tucky beans make good point.
There you go, Mr. Dan. My bees, my rules.
That's why I call them baby bees.
Just do your thing. If it's happening, go with it. If it ain't, find another route until it starts happening. Then carry on from there. Boom. I mean, a lot of this isn't real hard or complicated. Granted, there is some complicated stuff to this, and I'm not minimizing any of that. I'm just saying a good portion of some things are just like a little bit of common sense. Apply this, put it together, build off of that. Then you go, oh, okay, I get it now. Now let me move on to the other thing.
DC's egging you on.
I ain't in these comments. Let me get back up here and I get fired up again.
The very last one. He's got a new rant for you. Changing the subject.
Let me say this. All right. I know there's military vets in here, and we love and appreciate every single one of you, but we have to single out this one. Who's our Army vets in here? Who is current Army or an Army vet in here? Because I want to say happy birthday, Army. The No King stuff, we ended that in 1776. All right. We have a president now. We don't have a king ruling over us. The only king that rules over this one in this house is Christ and Christ alone. So they can have their whatever they want on that. But without getting on them clowns, happy birthday, Army. Appreciate you. Richard?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know he was the Army. I knew he was a vet, but I didn't know he was Army.
All right, awesome. Boom, boom. 2 of you in here. 79 and 80.
Was Bob Army?
Bob was Navy. Yeah. Throw it on their roofs, PJ. Don't do it on the porches no more. Throw it on the roofs. That way it's sit up there and cook for a day or two. Get it up there on that ridge. That's where you want to put it. But all right. Let's get to talking about let's talk about feeding if we're going to talk about that. And all the haters out there, this man's been gone 125 years, so you can't.
Y'all can't hate on him.
Yeah, I'm just reading what the man put out there. But he was an excellent beekeeper back in old timey days. But what lo and behold, and it's kind of funny that all this come up because the headline.
Way too far with this pooping on roofs and porches stuff.
I told y'all we're going to derail or go somewhere in that description. But let me get through this and we'll get to them real peaceful protesters out there. Y'all in your foolishness.
No, you just know coming in. Where have you been?
We holding strong, so we got people agreeing with us. They ain't dropping out. So thank you, America. I appreciate you.
I think they know us by now.
I hope so. If not, the subscriber numbers go down. That's for sure.
No, you're good, TJ.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't put my unvaccinated, on this and on that, and on whatever shirt on tonight.
You probably should have wore it the mood you're in.
I'm not compliant.
No.
Let me get to this.
Yes.
The heading is Making Sugar Syrup for Feeding Bees. Written for the American Bee Journal.
Hold on. Mr. Dan. No, you did not do that to somebody.
Cha-ching.
That's like a whole new level of woe now.
That's
wow. That's pretty good.
That's a high five moment right there.
Good. Was it wintertime with a roaring fire when you did it?
And what you do is you sit down on that ridge right there for a second and you listen. I got them. I got them good.
Oh, my word.
Making sure sugar syrup. I can't get my word. Making sugar syrup for feeding bees. Written for the American Bee Journal by G.M. Doolittle. The following has come to hand from someone who forgot to sign his or her name, so I will answer through the Bee Journal. You need to calm down so I can get through this.
Mr. Dan put, yeah, he did. That's Pennsylvania means. But Joey put Dan wins. Like it's a competition.
Somebody get that
one
trophy.
does take Oh, my word.
I may as well just shut this laptop.
You may as well.
Here. Let me get to the bottom of it. because it's long. And I'll just tell y'all what the man made, and we don't have to go through everything. All right, people. Let me find this recipe. He's a 2-time winner here, Mr. Dan Weaver.
Oh, this is horrible. Yeah, I'm with you, PJ. I think we should pray.
I love our Sunday fellowship. I tell you what.
I'm glad I didn't go to bed early. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Danae said we definitely need a prayer before the outro.
Have somebody say something for us, huh?
Oh my god.
There's something wrong with that bunch down there. They got problems.
Mm. I mean, I gotta say, there was many times that I pegged my brothers in the back of the head with a horse peg, but it never crossed my mind to dump a bag down the chimney.
No, never
Ever. Which my grandma was the only person I knew that had a fireplace, and she would have literally hung me by my toes and skinned me alive if I'd have done something like that. It just never crossed my mind to go there. Okay, maybe they got it all out of their system. Yeah, you probably might want to, Redfish. But hey, how's Miss Janet doing before you ease the door shut?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In all seriousness, like I really would love to know if Miss Janet's doing better. Yeah, DC. He's got to shake his head a lot with us.
Let me get back to
No.
Mr. Mike Conley is straightening things up, maybe. That Bob Benny thing happened 2 years ago, and he didn't argue with him. My thought is arguing with a fool is like carrying a lantern for a blind man. You right about that? And asking him, you see what I'm saying? With that lantern.
Oh, this started.
Uh,
Oh, good deal, Redfish. Wait, was it Brian? Was it you that said that about Yosemite Sam?
it may have
Because
been
we
Brian.
thought it was Rodney, but I feel like no, it was you. But on a very serious note, I'm really glad to hear that, Redfish. Really glad. Okay, it was Brian. He said it was him.
Bingo. He's back.
Yeah, we dug him back out for you. Sorry, it took us, like 2 weeks?
All right. I think I found the recipe down here. Okay, on a serious note, we'll get into this beekeeping feeding deal real quick since we own.
Okay.
People was talking about having fuss feeding sugar to their bees, this and that back then. All right. But the biggest fuss is make sure the bees are fed. If you're going to feed them sugar in the north, if you live in the north, they stress this. Make sure the bees are already fed in October. They should not have to be fed anything after October, except for whenever you're coming in the spring. Everybody should be full by then.
Didn't we read that?
We did, but Doolittle runs through that.
Okay.
And all this stuff because they was having trouble with it crystallizing and it turning sour on them.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they didn't have refrigerators and everything else to store things in like we do nowadays.
Yeah.
So what they was having to do was trying to figure out avenues of, okay, how can I make my sugar that was turning it into syrup? It was boiling water, putting X amount of pounds into this pot, boiling off all the water, and until it turned into a syrup kind of thing. Well, then they would have to store that stuff, but yet it would only last so long before it started fermenting back then.
Yeah.
Well, they tried different ways of this and that. Didn't work. So Doolittle got to rummaging around, and he said, and now came to me how in the early years I had used to owning scarcely amount of honey at the house, honey and sugar mixed on the table, in which case neither honey nor sugar granulated. So the next batch of syrup was made as follows. Now this is how Doolittle done it from then on out. And as he was writing this article, he's 15 years into beekeeping and feeding his bees this way. Okay.
Brian had a couple of questions.
I'll try my best.
Well, he was, I don't know if he was directly asking you, but I wonder what sugar was like back then. Was it processed as clean? Was it easy to access? And did beekeepers complain about the price of sugar then too?
Yes, on the price of sugar, people, in some of these articles I read, people fuss about the price of the sugar. And if you go back in the way late 1800s, when they first started doing the Bee Journal and people was talking about feeding, they do talk about sugar and not bleaching it or anything like that. And it wouldn't be as pretty as you see it nowadays coming up the store.
He said,
but it would be clean.
He said Colorado has a big beet farming history, and they used to make sugar from it.
Mm-hmm. Beet and cane sugar, and oftentimes, and I know it's another big fuss, but they talk a great deal in here about feeding their bees powdered sugar and making a mix out of powdered sugar. Yeah, just powdered.
Really?
Powdered sugar. Yeah.
A
lot of them used to believe heavily in it. But what Doolittle was doing, if this is something you want to do and to keep in mind, or if you're mixing up a 5-gallon bucket and you don't want it to spoil, according to Doolittle, it will not spoil if you do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it took him about 2 years to figure this out. Then finally he figured it out, mixing honey and sugar together. But he says 15 pounds of water was put into a large tin dish and brought to a boil. When 30 pounds of granulated sugar was poured in and stirred for a moment till it had mostly dissolved, when it was left over the fire till it had boiled again, upon taking from the fire, 5 pounds of honey was poured in, and the whole stirred enough to mix thoroughly. I found in this a syrup of about consistency of honey, which remained a liquid from day to day. A syrup that any beekeeper could easily make, and one which would not crystallize on the bees, feeders, nor in the cells. I have kept this syrup standing in an open dish for months at a time without it crystallizing or souring. He says that it has now been some 10 to 12 years since the experiments above given were tried, and during all that time, I have never found how I could improve on this food for feeding bees, for winter stores, for spring feeding. All right. He leaves that at the winter stores. Then he says for spring feeding, I would use 25 pounds of water to the same amount of sugar and honey, as this gives better results in brood rearing than does the thicker syrup. So this is, anybody interested in it, want to go back and look at it, American Bee Journal. Let me get all the way up here to the top. Let's see which one it is.
Do you know what pro sweet is made in?
No. Went too fast for the computer. Okay. This is January 25th, 1894, volume 33, number 4. Anybody out there interested on it? Where you can go read the whole article. It's on page, it starts at page 113, I think it is. But it's a long article, but Doolittle goes through and says he was trying putting vinegar in the syrup and it didn't work. Putting some kind of, they called it tartar acid. Yeah, tartar acid, something like it. I reckon. But that's about the way it was spelled, sounding. But apparently they used that a lot back then for whatever reason. I did not look that up, so I can't tell you what tartar acid is. But he said even using that, it did not help with it from turning sour on you. That was the biggest thing. But as far as good, healthy bees, Doolittle done it, loved it. Amazing results. Let me get back to the chat now.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like that 25 pounds of honey gonna get into a lot of honey. He said I'll stick with apple cider vinegar.
Oh yeah, 60 plus calories in just honey.
Cream of tartar. I don't know.
Let me hold on.
Was it cream of tartar?
Something like that. Should be right here.
That's like a cooking.
Let me find it. It's in here.
Or tartaric acid.
That sounds more like it. Oh, and it's in here, and I get it for y'all. Just a second, as soon as I find it. I just seen it. I just seen it reading that thing a second ago.
Yeah. You hear it?
I was on the wrong one. I wonder if we can find it. Yeah, cream of tartar. It's one word.
Tartar.
Yeah. That's what it is. It said I found plenty of recipes telling me how to make it using vinegar, cream of tartar, and tar.
Yeah, cream of tartar and tartaric acid.
Tartaric.
That's what Brian was saying.
Okay.
No, but I mean it's really not tartar.
Well, I'm just me reading what.
I know. I'm just.
But apparently that's what they use.
Brian said it's a crystalline organic acid that occurs naturally in new fruits.
Okay. Because here it's saying in greater or less quantities to keep the syrup from candying or crystallizing.
Yeah.
When about concluded to use one of these, I ran across that I said all that was necessary to do was to pour boiling water on granulated sugar. Because where his problem was, whenever they was putting bucket feeders on, even back then, trying to feed the bees, that the heavier sediment, even though things were boiled down, it would still try to crystallize. And whenever they turned that bucket upside down, that all the heavier stuff would sink to the bottom. And whatever could leach out was getting onto the bees. And the crystals were so big that the beekeepers were starting to see it on their bees.
Mm-hmm.
So they was trying to figure out how in the world do I keep all this mess off my bees, because if they can't get out, get clean and this and that, they're not doing what they need to do. So that's why they was trying to figure out a way to keep it the consistency of what Doolittle was saying, the consistency of honey, so it won't run out on them nor spoil, and it'd be good for them during feed.
That's pretty interesting. Mr. Russell said he grinds up his sucrose sugar in a high-speed mixer and mixes it with honey for winter food.
Mm-hmm. He was saying that.
Mr. Russell Cooper.
All right, so Mr. Russell Cook, he's on it then. Because according to Doolittle, all these guys were like legit Beekeepers. These were commercial dudes, well known. I mean, we all know Day Dant, we all know C.C. Miller. Doolittle, you just think of the movie because then, but he wasn't a veterinarian guy that talked to animals.
Mm-mm.
He talked to bees.
Mr. Dan, I could do the pickle festival. But I don't know about cream pickle festival.
Cream pickle honey.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or pickle cream honey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like putting lemon in the tea.
That's nothing like putting lemon in tea.
Well, I guess I need to start fussing again. People done left out. Me going on the rant, boy, they hung me up in that. See who I was going to talk about. He's fixing to say somebody's name.
Where's he going there?
Yeah. Is he talking about me?
Well, Sarah has grandkids and more people coming tomorrow. And Lee's got a new job. He starts tomorrow. So let
me put the thing. Anybody wants to come in here and fuss with me? I mean, hey, I guess I should have done that a long time ago.
Well, to be real honest with you, Mr. Dan, I ain't never timed myself. I'm not sure how fast I could drink that much pickle juice.
That's how we did.
I'm assuming there's a pickle juice drinking competition at the pickle festival.
Well, it depends on the summertime.
He said it's coming up, so I guess so. But he said it's everything pickles. I can handle that, especially the fried ones.
I would go just for the scenery.
You don't do pickles much.
Mm-mm. Every once in a while, I'll tell her, leave me one on my hamburger. But other than that, I chunk them out the window or put them on your hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yes, they all have black.
Yeah.
Let me get back up here.
Pickle juice makes you have blood pressure?
I guess also. Yeah. Well, it'd be perfect. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
If you drink it. I've never tried drinking it really fast, but I can easily drink a whole jar in a day.
Oh, they have chug contest with the pickle juice.
I guess.
Chug.
Pickled green tomatoes. That's a new one. I have not had those. The only way I've ate green tomatoes is frying them.
Yeah, all about some fried green tomatoes now.
You're coming back.
What else I had? I had something else. I've completely forgotten Railroad in it. Yeah. He's in
Danae's in here now.
Yep.
You can say hey.
Going back up here trying to find some of these comments. See what I missed.
Oh, never mind. Brian had a very important question, but I don't think we know how to answer it. He said, a very important question on feeding. I'm leaving the state for a week. How do I convince my wife, who hates my bees, that I need her to feed them in my absence? What can you bribe her with? I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Russell said, say please. I know what would get me. If my husband told me if I'd feed his critters for a week, he'd do dishes for a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all the great suggestions I have on that one.
I would ask her, is there anything else on your list?
Yeah, is there anything else I can do?
Yeah. All right, a gallon each, keep them going. So, that's kind of hard to say. There's some stuff I can name, but
You're scared too.
I am.
Yeah. You better overfeed and hope for the best.
Who said that?
Phil.
Philip. Yeah, that's the perfect answer right there.
I just purchased a new dryer and a new refrigerator. I ain't touching that. I ain't touching that.
Okay, I have to say it. My two suggestions are leave the debit or credit card out there, take to the top of the box and say only use when buckets are refilled. All right. Or the cell phone charger.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm so addicted to credit cards and
Because there's one thing they're not going to get away from that cell phone. Whether it's to have for if you need it for emergency reasons, or
you're digging a hole.
I don't know.
Digging a hole.
There's some ladies that it's just we know them. Don't act like we don't know them. We know them all day long. Now, hopefully, she's not that woman.
Mr. Dad said, "We'll pray for you, B."
Yeah. But Philip gave the best answer. I'll say. Overfeed.
People saying hey to you.
Yeah,
You got your back to the camera. You don't come on to say hey to your friends no more.
He's like, I get in trouble for getting in that chair. Excuse him.
Yeah. Good. Don't make it stronger again. Oh, I checked the weather.
That's how you do it. He said he put $100 bill in there, and what you do is say, guess which one got the $100 bill in it.
Honestly, I wouldn't do that because if she hates the bees, you're gonna lose that $100 bill to propolis by the time you get home. I don't know. I don't know what to do. What to tell you there, buddy. Tell Jasper Happy Father's Day. I don't think he deserves that when he still runs from his kids.
No, he's a terrible father.
He's a terrible dad.
But Philip said it. Jasper, Happy Father's Day, bud. Why you clean your
first Father's Day, and you're getting dirt out of your toes.
Now I'm with Mr. Mike Conley because that's how we feed. It's just open feed.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Inverted with the lids on.
But I will say, and this no joking aside, jokes aside, there have been times during certain years in dirt, you could fill that 5-gallon bucket up in the morning, and either that evening or early that next day, you was out there having to fill that baby back up again because they pull it down just that quick. But
Mr. Russell, we still have 6 up for adoption. And she does keep them watered. Well, there's a silver lining.
Okay, yeah, that's a step.
But I would highly recommend you setting out some open feeds or putting individual feeders on each hive. Even with the $100 bill, I don't think you're ever gonna see that again.
I should say that's the last time. Don't you ever ask me that again? You feed your bees, mister.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna try the market again.
That's it.
Y'all hear them firing back up.
Mhm.
Uh,
I gotta take him his dry blanket.
get them on.
Oh, it's only 1 year feeding?
Oh, well, shoot. $100 easy. What? Yeah.
I ain't going there.
Mhm.
Leave her a suit and gloves. No chance of getting stung. But I still wouldn't leave the $100 in the hive. I'd give it to her. You got a better chance that way. I don't know.
Oh yeah, bucket works good out there. Like I may do a video on some of that just to get something out there too. But we, like I said, y'all, we ain't really been pushing hard to get out there into our girls. We have just letting them go.
Trying to be better about
Now I want to say the little church house bunch. It ain't gonna be long before that they're gonna have to go into a good five
big
framer.
kid, Bob.
Or yes, if they keep going the way they're going, we just may well just move them up to a 10 frame and let her go because that queen buddy is taking off and she ain't looking back. As quick as they can build it, she's filling it up. That's the only 2025 queen we got. We can say 100% sure. Now we got the 2 swarms from Mr. Russell, but don't know if any of them was virgin swarms or mama swarms.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Drop in a frame of honey.
From another hive.
Very good. Yeah. Dig in, ladies. Don't eat it all in one sitting. That way you don't have lazy bees sitting around getting full off sugar.
Getting fatter and fatter and lazier and lazier.
Yeah.
Some people just want to fuck Spooksy.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
They'll
Ain't
do
no rhyme or reason to it.
Here, I'll get. Well, not everybody is here. We're pretty well on the same page. Do your own thing. I'm gonna tell you, all we did was put 4 pound bags of 5 gallons of water in water hose.
Mhm.
Hit it with the nozzle on the water hose. Let it mix up real good. It's filling up. Go it over there, turn it upside down, and let it go, and they'll drain it all day long. I don't have any remedy on the ants. I tried everything in the book to keep the ants out. And
Nothing works.
whenever they made a ladder going across the water that I had, the bucket sitting in,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they literally chained themselves together and made a rope bridge of ants. And they went back and forth that way.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, y'all can have it. I'm done fighting you.
Y'all should have seen the crap we had in that yard trying to beat the ants. It was ridiculous.
Oh, we was putting the cinnamon out there, diatomaceous earth, Vaseline.
Putting the thing in, like, floating in a tray of water.
That's what
else
ended
did we do? It's all kinds of stupid crap we did, and they still got in.
That's it. There you go, Richard. Like DC said, I get them going. Get a little jump start.
Mm-hmm.
Get back up here. So I'm getting behind on comments. I'm reading the comments backwards.
You could probably follow the conversation better if you read.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Go all the way to the beginning. Well, California is a sanctuary state for ants. The way Todd talks, I believe that.
I was going to say, if Todd was in here, he would be agreeing with you 100%, much as he deals with them.
I do not know, DC, but that's an interesting thought.
I don't know. Yeah.
The bees wouldn't try to pull the syrup, would they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to make it where only the ants could get in there and the bees couldn't get to it. You'd have to do like, if you did maybe some aluminum insect screen, like you would put on a porch where the ants could get through it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
DC said poor Todd. He's an ant farmer that keeps bees. I
Well,
bet he feels like it sometimes.
in one of the old bee journals, that's what they talked about, how they stopped the ants out back then was putting a poison ant strip, they called it. And I forget what they said was on the strip, but anyhow, that was basically the same thing. They made a little box and put probably something along the lines of boric acid or anything like that, to where the ants will ingest. And but they was mixing honey with some kind of acid that was on a paper. But
Put tuna in it and the bees will stay away from
it.
It's just like good.
She's dreaming back there. Sorry, y'all. It'll work. Now look, this is something we do, especially this time of the year, because like down here in Mobile, we get our rainy season, and we're in it now, where it just will rain like days upon days upon days, and then we're just now getting into early storm season, so we'll get a tropical storm to roll in here behind some of that stuff, and everything's already saturated. So what it do is drive them blasted sugar ants up out of the ground, and they'll get into your vehicles, they'll get into your house. Anything you leave out, they're gonna get into. But what we do use is fresh bay leaves.
Yeah.
Now, them old bay leaves, we stick them at the corners of the doors and the windows, and stick one leaf down in the sugar like Mama used to do back in the day to keep their tails out. And we don't have no problem with ants in the house using bay leaves. Now that trick does work, but they got to be fresh bay leaves.
Mr. Dan said peppermint can work for ants. I did not know that.
What?
Richard, I hope it works for you. I think our problem with it was it just rained so much here. We couldn't really keep it out there.
No.
That was the same trouble we had with the diatomaceous earth. Just every single day, 2 and 3 times a day, you'd have to go put it out because the rain shower would wash it off.
Or the ground is still so wet, even if you did have a day to dry, it'd be one of those days to where you sprinkled it on the ground and it would just turn into that. If you ever used diatomaceous earth, then you know how it get like that pasty.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
What?
DC talking about mixing that borax with tuna. The yellow jackets and stuff will tear it up, but the bees won't. The yellow jackets and ants will tear it up, but the bees hate the tuna, so they won't mess with it.
Well, there you go. Maybe that'll work on. I tell you something too. We're seeing this year a lot of, and that's bald-faced hornets and the the European hornet.
He said I tried cinnamon and sugar for my ants, and they started stealing my toast.
Yeah. Give me that.
Yeah.
Like those ants we seen taking off a tater chip that was big as a 757.
I can't scoot over much more.
have to keep that in mind though on the tune and stuff, and that'll draw them blasted hornets up as well. But I'm not a big fan of seeing them too much. Now we ain't never really had no issues with the hornets getting into the colonies.
Thank God.
But
Well, that one time, but them little bees just cooked that thing. Toted it right on back out the front door.
not today.
Not in our house.
But we see a bunch of them around that open feeder when it's a shoal enough dirt. Now they'll be around that open feeder, but it was rare we even seen them fighting. Like the hornets trying to kill the bees. They wouldn't.
All of them were at that feeder. The wasps, the hornets, bees, the ants, everybody eating together.
Well, the way it sits in that bucket, like Mr. Mike Conley's talking about, you invert that bucket and make sure it's got the wider rim around it. So whenever you put your holes, it'll hold that sugar water or quite a bit of it. It always stayed full right there. So all they had to do is everybody was just chilling out on the side, getting them a little bit of drink, get their belly full, gone. Then the next one move in. But there was times there would be just thousands of bees out there on that stuff. But that's on some older videos. I had to see if I can find some of them. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Watching them.
I might go out there and feed them, like out of your hand. You can have two kind of hornets, yellow jackets, and bees in your hand all at one time, and nobody ever get fussy.
Oh, it was pretty neat. She'd go out there and put a little bit of honey in her hand at that open feeder, and just enough to put in the palm of your hand, and she'd sit there for a minute. And it didn't take them long, but buddy, here they come. You'd have bees and hornets and red wasps and yellow jackets, the whole kit and caboodle, but they'd all be lined up around the edge of that honey, and everybody just eating. Wasn't no fuss or argument. They just wanted to get a free snack, and out they went. But
Somebody's gonna talk to it.
I pushed the button twice. I got excited because somebody come in here to talk to us.
Hey.
What do you say, Philip?
Not much. What y'all up to?
Not too much. Hold up. Let me see if I can get him right. You got your cattywampus or something going on here, Philip. I don't know.
He was pushing buttons on the computer earlier, and it's got the screen kind of lopsided.
I might have to do this one on another one. Probably knock him out. He looks good right there, too.
I don't know.
It's like this is just smaller. It's not cut off. It's just a little bit.
I guess if I turn it that way.
Oh, did Lee fix it for you? Oh,
no,
yeah.
I turned my phone sideways.
There we go. All right. Problem solved. I'll have to say, Lee, can you help us out here?
Lee was bad.
Lee's probably not there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to give you a tour of the bee yard real quick while it's still daylight.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Hang on, let him make you big.
Yeah, I don't have much honey, but I got a little. I was going to harvest today, but I got one bee that's wanting to sting me, though. You know how it is. Get one.
Everyone.
But I'm going to take those top two on that one that has 4 on it. They're full, and then I think this top one is full and getting hit between the eyes. Leave me alone. I don't know.
Swat at her.
She's just giving me her opinion. She hadn't stung me yet. You know how they are sometimes. They just want me to act right. But yeah, it's been a pretty bad year, but I am going to harvest a little bit. I hope to get like 5 supers off tomorrow and see where we go from there. Let's see. I'll go around and look at the front of these. There we go. I got. I'm offsetting supers this year. It's the first time I've ever done that. I think it helps. And this one I did a combine above and below, and so on the back side I just propped the box up so the ones that were coming in from that side could get in. They were queenless, so just let them turn that into a honey super instead of a brood box. And this is my garden, which I've allowed to grow up. Yeah, let's see. All right, that's it.
Oh, there we go. I think I got it both back right. I think. There we go. Yeah. But so it's dry on your neck of the woods too, like it is around here.
Actually, it's been raining a lot
Yes, sir.
here. But I don't know. I think we needed it. It hadn't been raining like some people, for days at a time. It'd rain a day and we'd get 2 or 3 days dry and then it'd rain again.
Ours has just been from about 12 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. We have gotten some rain. I know there's a couple of days we got at least 2.25 inches. What do you say, man?
That's my middle son. Middle child.
If we could have got this rain a month and a half ago, we'd be all right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to just say it was a bad year for honey, but when you do that, I got that one hive that's got 4 supers on it. So they're just showing that I'm just a bad beekeeper more than it has anything to do with it. If they would all be bad, I could blame it on somebody else. But when you have one in there that's outperforming all the rest, you got to kind of just realize that you just didn't manage them right, I guess.
Well, it's like one of them ladies, what are y'all finding that everybody else ain't finding?
Right. I'm like, could you guys go out and train these other ones or something?
Yeah, do the waggle dance over there. That way everybody kind of
right. Share what you're finding with these other bunch.
But I mean, our girls they're brooding up wonderfully, looking good, bringing out plenty of workers and stuff. But just as far as showing signs of drawing out and any kind of, I guess, flow of any sorts this year, it didn't happen too much around here.
Yeah, pretty much. I got this year's queen in just about every box out there, and I think that might have been a little bit of it. As I said by requeening them, I set them all back. Now I did steal cap brood from last year's queen to try to keep them up to speed, and that worked out a little bit. But
Rodney saying, I believe those bees he cut out yesterday come from your yard. He took about 15 stings on that job.
yeah, I saw it. I watched one of his videos. It looked like they was on top of a trash can or something, where they got them out of a tree. Actually, I think I went there based on your recommendation. I think I saw you had a link on your page to them. And I went.
Yeah, I guess YouTube's been pushing this video pretty hard on our end because we caught a couple of the. Now, whenever you make a short, it says new up there, and it's like you can kind of gauge and pick up whose shorts or whose, I guess, by looking at stuff a little bit now. But was hitting on Rodney's there, him doing them trap outs and swarm catches and all this stuff, and I thought, well, this man really as much work that he does putting into doing them trap outs and the knowledge he has gained in doing that. I mean, he's got something going on. People calling him all the time. I guess he's like the dirt rooster of that end, if you will.
Yeah.
But if one of them just try to shout him out, anybody that ain't never seen old Rodney, and if you're interested in that, definitely go check out Rodney Middleton.
What you call him? The Rain Man of Trap House?
Rain Man of Trap House, yep. I had him as the Renaissance Man
Yeah.
the other day, but yeah.
Parking.
Do what?
You broke up, Phil.
Is
Sorry
he-
about that.
Hold on.
I think
Oh, I'm
it's
sitting there
on.
washing out a milk jug and it's making all kinds of racket. I think she's through.
Uh-oh. He might be going. Try again. Come back, try again. Like I said,
If it's our connection or his, I feel like it's ours.
because it is trying to storm. I don't know if y'all hear it thundering out there,
It's
but
bad out there.
uh,
Sound like Brian had a heck of a day.
but I've noticed this in his comments the last several chats.
Okay.
Brian,
What?
everything he's doing with his bees, he's trying to keep the neighbors happy. Everything about it, keep them happy.
Mhm.
I imagine so if he said, hey, look, try this honey for me. Hands them a
Yeah.
bottle over the fence or tosses them one there.
It's gotta be our connection because even this keeps buffering.
Are we buffering that bad?
I don't know. Are we like? Can y'all hear us? Are we cutting in and out real bad?
That's why
That is incredible, Rodney.
I had to add another deep 10 frame box to that trap out because the first one is completely full. That's good.
insane.
Let me get y'all one more on here later. See what's happening with it.
Well, we'll try again.
One more again.
All right. I don't know what happened. I locked up on my end or something.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's our connection, Philip.
I mean, mine was completely kicked me out.
Oh,
Well, everybody's saying we're good on our end.
I don't know.
I think it was my end.
That's what I'm talking about, Brian. See, he done worked them up. Look, y'all call me now if you have any
Yeah.
problems. And I'll get over there to you. Then you catch them and you get them in the box and you say, you know what? Oh, by the way, I brought you some honey from the house over here. I want y'all to let me know how you like that. Try this cream honey too.
Let me know what you think.
Build them up. That's why that gets you a sting or two in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Yeah, before I got broken up, I see Rodney's on here. Rodney, do you have another job or do you do all that full time, cutting out bees and stuff?
Much as he does, I'd just make it a full time job
For
if you
real.
could, if the money was right, which the money had to be right to go out and do it either way. But we learned that very quickly. No freebies, no none of that junk. This is what the charge is going to be, or mosey on.
Joey said Rodney does everything.
I know. Yeah, I avoid cutouts. I send those somewhere else.
I don't know. I guess we're just weird because I really enjoy the cutouts.
Well,
I would probably enjoy it, but if you really only have your weekends and evenings to do it,
Yeah.
I got other stuff I need to be doing.
that's it.
Yeah.
As far as us, it ain't too much because pretty much this is what we do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tear it apart and put it back together for you, make it look pretty again. That ain't no problem. But it's just double of what the cost will be.
Oh, he's a mechanic.
I would quit mechanicking and go to the thing.
Yeah.
Unless you just love mechanicking. I'd rather dig a ditch with a silver spoon
Yeah.
than work on a vehicle. I appreciate every mechanic out there just as much as the military. But that's one job that my 10 millimeter will be across the yard, not because I dropped it. I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna decrown you this year, Philip.
All right, James. All right, I'll be ready. I was just showing y'all that I had a little honey, so y'all could go ahead and just cancel your entry.
And so it begins.
Well,
And it's only June.
it won't be, well, we started early last year. Everybody got to talking smack early on last year. Well, about the end of July or August, I guess. And it was
'Cause we
game on.
did it at the end of September, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we got a plan now for every September. What's the second weekend or something like that every September?
I can't remember what it was. I have to go back and look.
That's good though. Y'all get the smack talking rolling.
We're gonna have to think up something good for the prize this year.
And they said I find a lot of them 10 millimeter and lose a lot of them too.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't find my 10 millimeter right now.
He'll find that last mechanic's 10 millimeter. Be like, oh, okay, there's that one I need right now. You know, chicka chicka chicka.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's a good job.
my son does a little bit of wrenching, so I accused him of losing my 10 millimeter.
And between them and that 8, that's my biggest ones. I can't hardly keep my hands on.
That's like your carpenter pencil.
Yeah.
They're on the same level. The same level.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how the youth goes this year.
Mm-hmm.
This will be what? This will be year annual 3.
That's
Third
crazy.
Annual. Yeah.
3 years.
I never thought y'all want to carry on with it after the first year, to be honest with you. I think, well, this is just going to be
this is over.
Yeah, it's done.
This is out.
Everybody have fun. But, I've enjoyed hopefully we'll have the same turnout next year. We'll see.
We gotta look for a judge.
Yeah, we have to find us a judge.
Yeah. I don't know if Brother Sam is gonna be up for it.
Yeah. I don't know. Perhaps we could. We'll do some phone calls and see if we can find somebody. Tell Dirt Rooster, look, if I bring all my camera equipment down there and all this honey that everybody sends in, you want to do the honey tasting this year? No diabetics. We talked to Mr. Donnie.
No more diabetics, DC. I'm still not over that. Like every time I think about that, my heart starts racing again, sitting at that table thinking, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
He's about to get that EMT training going again.
Yes. Like, Lord help us.
Well, hey, and we'll tell y'all this. This is something we talked about after the first one, and we ain't really talked to y'all about it, I don't think. But when Mr. Donnie was going through all that, and he's telling us, well, my sugar, and it never hit me at all, having him sit down there pulling on all that honey and him and his insulin. But the moment that just cut you like ice, or it did for me, and I know it did for her, is whenever he said, we may have to do this on another weekend too. And it was just like, no.
Yeah.
We planned this to be one night and everybody.
The thing that got me was y'all would give him that cup. And he'd
And he
take a,
redid it 4 times.
yeah, and then he'd just start cleaning that cup out and eat every bit of it. It's like, good.
There's this number in there. Yep. Let me try this.
It's
one
like,
again.
it's like he was going to take it away from him.
That's where I did take a couple of them from him. Mr. Darby. Yeah, I think Brian has a point. The diabetic judge made it the very most unofficial funny comment ever. Oh my gosh.
Hey, the silver lining on it, he woke up the next morning and for the first, this ain't no joke, for the first time in Hump Team forever, he woke up and checked his sugar and he said, y'all, my sugar was perfect, Tammy.
Yeah, he said it was like 100.
Let's do this again.
Yeah. Well, good deal, Mr. Donnie. Because I'm afraid it was going to be, 400 or 500. He get home and check it. And he's like, y'all, I don't know if I got enough insulin for the night or something.
Yeah. Mr. Russell, I don't know any Yankees that don't go home for the summer. He said we need a tester from the north so he has a chance. All the Yankees I know are snowbirds. Like they go home.
Only Yank Susan's the only one I know of. She's full-blooded Yankee.
Yeah, she is.
Where's she from?
New York State.
New York State.
New York State.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Long way from down here.
She's been down here for a while, but she still got that.
Oh, she opens her mouth and you know exactly where she's from.
No, ma'am, you wasn't born down here, was you?
I mean, she don't talk ugly. She just talks funny.
There's not a bunch of syllables in her conversation. I'll put it like that.
Not near as many as we have. No, I don't know. We're gonna have to work on that. See who we can get. He quit stepping on my toes.
We'll find someone. We'll find somebody along that line somewhere.
Get Christopher.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
That could be fun.
that's like our version of Brian, her cousin. Just cool, laid back. That guy. You know what I mean? Just simple, easy.
I don't know. We could put Zach in overalls and put him on camera.
I don't want to do that. Y'all talk about country bumpkins.
Yeah. Nancy Ann.
If I tell you who would be our best taste tester,
Ollie.
Yeah, that's who I was going to recommend, Ollie.
If his dad would get over himself, Ollie do it. He'd be all over that in a heartbeat. He'd be on that.
You need me there at 6:30, Uncle Tim?
I'll be there at 5, Annie Boo. Make lima beans and cornbread.
You just need to give him like some kind of disguise, like an eye patch or something, so we won't recognize him.
Ew. I'm gonna make him float that.
Maybe the Lone Ranger mask. Nobody could recognize him in that.
Yeah. Oh man.
You definitely couldn't
That
tell him.
would be good.
The only thing we couldn't do if we used Ollie Man is whenever everybody starts sending their stuff in, he could not know that things are coming. I'm talking about he couldn't even know a postage stamp come in the mail.
No, because he knew, like last year, he was coming over almost every weekend. And as soon as he walked through that door, he didn't even say hey to me. He went to that honey shell to see what the new entry was he could taste this week.
Yeah, so would.
That dude, he would get into it if we could talk his dad into it.
We may have to have 2 judges again if y'all do the
I
cream
don't know
honey,
how we-
or what was we doing? Hot honey this year and not cream honey or something?
We
I did
gotta do cream honey.
creamed honey and regular honey, I think.
We did last year, but so many people sent hot honey. We said we were going to make a category this
Uh-huh.
year. Because there was like 6 different people that sent hot honey last year. There was quite a few more than we were expecting.
We'll just have to see about it. We'll let y'all vote this year. Do y'all want cream when we get there?
Tell us how many categories do we need?
Well, I'm like DC on that. We don't need to go making a whole bunch of categories. Then we'll just kind of.
We ain't that big.
No,
We're not that big.
everyone else be sick in the morning. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but
What do you do?
yeah, we'll see about what the prize will be again this year. Like I said, I looked and tried to find the winners this year. Let's see, it was Philip, Mr. Russell. Who got
Russell.
cream? Mr. Russell got
Mr.
cream.
Russell.
Russell did.
Well, Philip got the original money that Blaine sent for his bribe the very first year when everybody was like bribing him hard. All right. Well, that was the money that looked more like real money.
Yeah.
And I tried finding some of that not too long ago from my brother-in-law pulling my sister-in-law and ended up having to send him home with the newer looking stuff. But, all right, Mr. Dan says hot honey needs a separate cap.
We'll just have to see how many people want to send it in this year.
Well, we'll have to find somebody to do it, because I tell you what, I tried some of y'all's hot honey not too long ago to Mr. Donnie wanted a splash, he said. So
He said some word.
I tell you what, when I tried it when it first come in, yes, it had some spice to it. But then whenever I went back these few months, it's been sitting there marinating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you what, it had crunk up the fire because I just barely put some on the tip of my tongue, and I was hacking and coughing in tears, the whole everything around here, trying to gain my composure because that stuff done got hot. So we will have to find. We need a Cajun for that.
Hilarious watching the game.
See, DC said he lost to me in the recount. I had the Russian judge on my side, DC.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, though, Mr. Russell Amon enters that alfalfa honey. Better not make me the judge.
That alfalfa was something else. That was good too.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, since the king is on here for 2025, all right. Now I know it didn't make. It was runner up the first year. Wouldn't Philip runner up the first year?
I was like tied with like 4 or 5 people for second. There was a whole bunch of us. It's like a 5-way tie for second. Yeah.
What I think it may have been the honey that you sent that had that mint flavor, or it had
kind of a fruity flavor. Yeah, that was original. I think that's all I entered the first year. I don't think I entered the Capel honey the first year. The second year, I just sent you one of everything I had, and hope for the best. So I just, send enough, your percentages go up.
Uh-huh.
And this year, I'm going to have some from Crossroads at my new yard. So,
cool.
Y'all keep another one. He's got 3 in mind already this year.
So has that yard been a success for you?
It's got a little bit of honey. I know it's got 2 or 3 boxes of honey on it.
That's good.
So, and just like this yard here, it's like one colony's performing very well, and the other ones are just kind of lagging.
Yeah. It's been a weird year for a lot of people.
Well, I think that honey up there is going to be mostly privet, because when the privet bloomed, that's when they finally started bringing some in.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, privet honey's real light, I think, and real floral tasting. It's not my favorite, but some people like it.
Yeah, I like that privet. Just got a sweet taste to it. Like I said, you just about see through the gold color in it. I guess the best way to explain through it. It is pretty
Now,
transparent.
I was concerned because there wasn't any of the mesquite blooming down at the farm, but last week I noticed that there was a bunch of mesquite trees up here near my house. We don't have a whole lot of it around here, but there was some on my way to work that were full bloom. So there's a ton of mesquite trees up there at Crossroads. So I'm hoping those are blooming right now. Maybe I'll get some of that too.
Now, with Jeremy, sending some of that mesquite, but that stuff, he was right. He said it won't take long, and then it'll be crystallized.
It didn't take a week.
Yeah, it didn't take too terribly long, and that stuff crystallized up. But I mean, it's good.
You talking about the privet?
No, the mesquite.
Oh, mesquite.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Richland honey crystallizes in it starts in about 4 months, and then it goes pretty fast from there. But yeah, I know it has some mesquite in it, but I don't know how much. It must have a good bit, because that's the only time I got honey last year was when the mesquite blew.
And that stuff over there, right there. Yes, right there on the front. Let me see. It's just yeah, that's what Jeremy sent, but this was last year's, but it's
Did Jeremy send any? Did he send any cotton honey?
No, I think all he sent was this mesquite. I think.
What's it taste like?
I don't even remember what it tasted. I guess kind of like a not so heavy privet. I reckon best way I can explain it.
Is it real light?
Yeah, it's light.
Okay. Because my Richland honey it's pretty light. It's got more of a yellow color than an amber, and it's. But mine last year tasted. It kind of had an acidic or like a citrusy kind of a finish to it.
I know that one stuff that you got. Well, I think we ain't got just a little bitty bit of that left, but
yeah, you should have both years. But I sent both last year. I sent you all that little sampler, which was 3 jars. It was the winter Capel, or the fall Capel, and the spring Capel, and then the spring Richland, which was last year's. But the year before was when it was really fruity tasting.
yeah,
tasted kind of like peach or apricot or something.
Now, for last year, we sent Brother Sammy home with everything. It was like whoever won first.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
You went, and with yours, we told Brother Sammy, look, hey, you can take the whole. Y'all love honey so much.
Yeah,
take the whole kit to boodle for your winners there. I had to dig around. See how much we got left of that Richmond or the Richmond stuff you got left.
Yeah, that was different. It was earlier in the spring, and then what I sent last year was later in the spring. To me, it tasted a good bit different. but people really like it. I've got some people that are bugging me about when's it going to come in. I'm gonna have to disappoint them, I think, this year because I don't hardly have any of that on the hive.
And if I remember, that stuff was kind of dark. Which once she gets back in here, I'll get her to get that bottle to me. But
It turns a little bit dark as it ages. Well, I've noticed. Started out real light, and then it kind of turned as it got older. It's probably crystallized right now.
got Capel. Well, I got two Capel. I think, yeah. We get back over to you. I'm coming.
Yeah, I sent you guys just not part of the contest, but another time I sent you
That one.
spring and fall.
So this one says Capel.
Really good honey butter.
I like that fall honey best.
And is this what Philip sent last year or this year?
I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Can't remember.
The top shelf is this past year.
Oh, well, this is on the bottom shelf. Then this was last year. Then.
Yeah, I think I did send that. I think I sent that to y'all after we had our fundraiser thing.
Yeah, both of them says Capel. Spring and fall, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. Well, that should have came together.
But if I remember right, let me just go and try this while we don't hear sip this with the.
I'm gonna try.
I think this was the stuff that had all the different flavor in it.
The spring is what won the contest last year, and it didn't change much year to year.
I don't think that's it. That's got that heavy fall taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
The real dark one has the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. I think Hannah likes it too.
Yeah, she just went for another run of it.
Jasper won't give me my chair back.
Make him get up.
He's so comfy though.
Hey, but Richard, them scraps that add up. We didn't get but what we have last year. 1 pound and 7 ounces.
Yeah.
I think it was. And that 1 pound bottle we still have, and that's going to be going out the door, Lord willing, hopefully here soon, as it should have been. We keep forgetting. But,
let me see it.
Yeah, maybe we do a honey giveaway on the next run. Some of that stuff we got back there. Because we're going to have to whittle the shelf down for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For folks that want to try again this year. Don't tear it up. Don't knock us out. We've been doing good. I figured that weather was going to knock us out. Thank goodness it went around us, it sounded like.
No, it's still fun. It does sound like it's going around. But now they're saying it's going to be raining from 8 in the morning to 11 or 12 in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
She told me before we got on here, y'all, we'll derail. But she come to me all sweet and nice, loving wife, tender voice.
I always talk like that.
She does. But she says, I know you usually get up before I do, so check the weather. And if we don't have to drive to Gulf Shores, quietly go to my phone and turn the alarm clock off.
Let me sleep in.
Yeah, let me sleep till
Please.
daylight. I'm like, okay, it sounds like you got plans already before we even get out the door.
I'm just going off how it was last week. I don't want to get up at 3:30 if I don't have to.
Yeah, my sister's going to Gulf Shores next week. Could be there all
Really?
week. Yeah, her grandson's playing in a baseball tournament.
Oh, there's a lot of them going on down there this time of year.
Y'all can see us working from the road. No problem. If you was to drive, if you ever been to Gulf Shores and you drive over the little lagoon right before you get to the main public beach down at the end, about a mile down the road down there. As soon as you go over the lagoon, if you immediately look to the right, you'll see all our scaffold and everything else stacked up nice and pretty. We'll wave to you, blow the horn, we'll wave to you.
Yep. Jasper's down for the count.
Do you have a good Father's Day, Philip?
Yeah, I did. You know, I drove back from my mom's this morning. I got it real early and drove back, so it wouldn't be too late. But I got back here about 10:30, 10:45.
Okay.
But
Did you have a good visit with your mom?
I did. She was, you know, she's obviously declining, but she was up and trying to talk to me.
Oh,
And
good.
you know, I spent the whole day with her, just holding her hand, talking to her, and feeding her and stuff like that, combing her hair, and brushing her teeth,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Doing right by your mama.
Yeah. I've been going to see her every 2 weeks since she
Yeah.
kind of got down.
Yeah.
And I told her I'd continue to come see her every 2 weeks, but when she get ready to leave, I understood.
Yeah.
When she goes to bed and I go in there and sit by her in the bed, she actually sounds better. I can actually make out words she's saying, but she talks a lot about her mama and her siblings and all the people that have already passed.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me she says she's got to go take care of stuff with them, you know. I think that's pretty normal for people in there at the end.
Yeah. I know my grandma did. Big time. All she talked about was like, went all the way back to her childhood days.
Mm-hmm.
The last several months.
Yeah.
Which, in a lot of ways, you just look at it as a blessing, a nice, peaceful.
Yep. I told her, and then she was, you know, she's a little worried and a little concerned. And I said, look, Mom, I said, a lot of people don't get a chance to live as long as you have and be worried about stuff like that. And she said, yeah. She said, yeah, I know. So.
I had a friend of mine, his grandma, in her latter days, which it just amazed me sitting there listening to her talk like that, I guess. But a lot of her conversation, like you said, it was about her mom and daddy, brothers and sisters, and everybody that's kind of gone on. But what she often would just bring out of the blue in conversation, she would say, well, Daddy, I got bricks on the wagon and all of them's warm, so our feet's going to be nice and warm headed in. And that's what she would say, you know, quite up, just going back to them days of jumping on the wagon and making sure there was warm bricks for your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her try not to worry. I said, you'll be able to walk and run. You can run down that creek where you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to do all that again soon.
Yes, ma'am. Don't fret. I'll be there with you for too long.
That's right.
This life ain't nothing but a vapor.
That's what I told her. I said, you hadn't seen your mom in about 30 years. And I'll be coming looking for you one of these days.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I told her.
For sure. DC too. DC's coming up. Saying his stepdad's getting worse.
Yeah. But
Seems like everybody's going through it with somebody they love right now.
well,
Yeah.
what's that old
Thank
saying?
you.
If you're not going through a season, in a season, or coming out of a season, you're pretty well in one of the three of them right there. You either coming in the middle, or going out of a season.
Yeah.
Which, hey, I mean, we believers ain't nothing to be fretting over, that's for sure.
Yeah. I went to a, it was just a memorial for a guy that he had died a month or so before, but they had it out at the old church, and the preacher that came and preached to his service said that when you're born, they give you a day and a year, and when you die, they give you another day and another year, and then they put a little bitty dash in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that's where we all are, in that little old dash right there. That's all we get, is that little dash. And what are you going to do with that little dash? 'Cause
Pretty
it's very,
sobering thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all in what we do during that dash.
That's right. Exactly what his point was. It's short, and you need to take advantage of it.
Yes.
Yeah. How old is your mama still?
She just turned 90 in
Oh, wow.
March.
Wow.
Yeah, March the 8th.
She's had a long life.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I thought she was like late 70s or early 80s. I didn't realize she was 90.
No, she's 90. We was, we was all pulling for her to get to 90, and she got there, so
Yeah.
we was happy for that. My dad lived to be 86, which
Yeah.
wasn't too bad. But I just kind of, the hardest part is her not being able to talk. She just can't, and she wants to tell you stuff, but she just can't get it out.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrated.
And it'll break your heart watching them get so frustrated.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, just when you do talk to her, let her know she got all kind of people praying for her
Absolutely.
on a daily basis.
I sure will.
Couple times a day, at least on our end, I know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We try to pray over the prayer list. Every time we eat, we're saying something, and I know sometimes just in our own time, we ask the Lord to lift all prayer list up, but folks in our group as well.
Oh, and I also got to see my brother, who's having surgery tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I
The
got to
brother
visit
Lane.
Mount Lane. Yeah, he came up. He drove up, spent a couple hours with
Okay.
Mom at my mom's house. So,
Mm-hmm.
because he'll be down for probably a couple of weeks at least with that open heart surgery.
Mm.
Does he live a long way from y'all?
For me, he lives a pretty good distance, but from my mom's, he's like 2.5 hours or so.
Okay.
He lives in Cheneyville, Louisiana, which is down close to. I'll tell you where it is. It's close to where Russell Amon grew up. I think Russell Amon grew up in Bunkie. I think Cheneyville is pretty close to Bunkie.
Okay.
It's south of Alexandria.
Okay, where did he say? Part of Louisiana, they.
I was just thinking that, but I can't remember the name of the town. He may still be in here. I'm not sure.
Who's that?
Mr. Russell Amon. He was telling us where him and Miss Brenda was from.
They're from Bunkie.
Okay.
I believe. He might correct me, but I think he told me he was from Bunkie.
No, he just said that's right.
Okay. Well, what it was, well, I think he called me about something, and he started talking, and I said, Russell, don't take this the wrong way, but you sound a little bit like a coon ass. He told me, yeah, I'm from Bunkie. I said, oh, that makes sense then.
That's funny.
I wouldn't be able to do it right, but you right on that, Philip.
Yeah. Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Yankee from North Louisiana, but I've been around enough people from down there to know what they sound like.
Oh yeah, somebody truly from Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
as soon as just one of them words come out.
Mm-hmm.
When it starts rolling off, you're like, you South Louisiana, ain't you?
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm fixing to take you out.
Mr. Keith Larimore, good to see you, Captain.
Oh, well, there's Paul. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, good to see you, Paul.
We're not giving away a hive, Paul.
No giveaways tonight.
He must have seen that hashtag Richard put in there for some honey.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try to do that next Sunday. Y'all remind me, y'all hit me hard on the hashtag honey, and we'll drag out a couple of them.
He said, then I'm out of here. No,
Come on now, Paul. That's a blessing. You still have your parents, Paul. That's a blessing right there for sure.
Absolutely. Bigger blessing than a lot of people realize.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what else you got, Buttons?
That's about it. We went through venting, frustrations. Don't feed your bees sugar water. Where else did we go? There was something else. Oh, don't invite me to your Facebook group.
Please don't get back on that one. I'd rather talk about Walmart than that. And Todd ain't even in here.
He'll say something in the comment. Watch him later, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Is that all you got there, Sister Henny?
Mm-hmm. Trying to tell Mr. Roy sounds like he's doing pretty good over there. Cover your chimney. You're right, Redfish. That's probably the biggest takeaway from this night.
Was you in here for that, Philip?
I must have been when I checked out. What was that all about?
That was like the first part when Tim was going on his rant, and somebody made a comment. PJ Hanley said something about what he said. Something about I come in for a peaceful chat, and Tim's got me wanting to go poop on somebody's porch.
I saw that comment. Yeah.
Okay, so then Mr. Dan piled on, Dan Weaver. He's like, you put it in a bag and you throw it down the chimney. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. What? We never took it that far.
I didn't even know that was such a thing you could do.
No. I've never gone there before. Not even in my head has it ever occurred to me to drop that down somebody's chimney.
That seems like too much work to me.
I can understand that. All right. Y'all bear with me here a second. I can understand that a little bit more with Mr. Russell Koopman and, kids or teenagers or boys being boys, whatever stuff we done. Because up there, you got chimneys on, I'll say a majority of the homes, I imagine, up there in the North Country. All right. Down here, you have them, but there is nowhere near what it will be in the North by any means. But Joey Rawls has been hitting on that hard every single time about the chimney drop. Chimney drop. Chimney drop.
He just said it again, the chimney drop.
He knows all about that. He might be.
He was hitting those sandstone chimneys we got around here.
He might have to plead the fifth on that one.
Oh my heavens.
Yep.
I'm gonna let y'all have it on that note. I do believe.
I think that's where we'll leave everybody tonight.
That's probably what we need to. That's probably we need to end it up.
I don't know that a fine way, but that's a typical gun line way these days.
The best final advice we can give y'all tonight: don't mess up your chimney drop.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to Ollie imitation. Well, I guess that's about it.
Yep.
That's about all I can take for one night on this. Oh my God. This has been an original.
Yeah, it's a good laugh. You can tell it was a Father's Day one, that's for sure.
Dads come out.
Yeah, all the dads come out tonight. Great job.
If you like them, you roll their house. If you don't, So now that everybody in your hometown knew who you was growing up, didn't they? I'm just glad my brothers didn't think like you.
Look, instead of getting caught, Joey went to work at a prison to pay his difference to society instead of being caught by the law, man.
My brother always said there's two kind of people in this world, and the ones that get caught and the ones that don't.
That's it. Yes, sir.
I'll chimney drop y'all as a flyover. This is getting out of control. Out of control.
So we know what the new sign will be.
Oh my word.
There she goes.
It ain't a mic drop.
No, it's the chimney drop. Mm. All right, y'all.
All right.
Good
night, everybody.
God bless you, Lord willing. We'll see you on next one. Y'all take care. Thank you, Philip.
Have a good
All right,
week.
good night.
Hope y'all had a happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Well, guess that's it for today. See you next time at Gunline Bees.